chair and host this panel. We are really excited and really honored to be joined by some of the directors and some of the personnel from some really great nonprofits that service the CrossFit community. So we're going to be talking a little bit today. If any of you guys have any burning questions, please feel free to call them out. So we want to get started. Just please guys let us know your name. Your sign? No. Your name, the name of your organization, where you're based out of, and your organization's mission statement.
Hello, my name is Will Lanier. I'm the executive director of the Out Foundation. Our CrossFit wing is called WOD. I live in Austin, but we're based in New York City. And our mission statement is to remove the barriers that block LGBTQ access and success within fitness. So, yeah.
Yes.
Hey, I'm Ryan Foster. I'm one of the co-founders of the Reveille Project. Our mission statement is to restore veterans' lives post-active duty. We provide fitness, nutrition, community, and faith for our veterans, and it's a year scholarship for them.
Hi, my name is Leora Haffrey. I'm the Executive Director of Steve's Club National Program, and we bring CrossFit to underserved and at-risk youth. We also have a mentorship component, and we also do nutrition education. We're a national organization. We have 21 locations around the country, and here in Colorado we have a chapter in Denver, in Longmont, and also in Montrose.
My name is Chris Hoppy. I'm with the Phoenix. I'm based out of Colorado Springs, but our central hub is out of Denver. Our main mission is to reconnect those that suffer from substance use disorder with their communities through active activities such as biking, hiking, climbing, CrossFit, anything that centers around physical activity and community.
Hello, I'm Jim Conselman. I'm the Executive Director of FaithRx. We exist to unite and strengthen the fitness community to live for Christ, share His love, and serve the world. We have 80 chapters across cities in 9 countries and 5 continents, and we have one right here in Denver.
Awesome, thank you guys so much. So we have 5 amazing panelists. I'm going to be just sort of asking 2 or 3 of you to answer each question. If you really have a burning story or instinct that you really want to answer one, go ahead and raise your hand, or just wrestle Will for the mic. A brief background of your founding and what led you to want to start the nonprofit that you're a part of. Go for it, Will.
I was a coach at CrossFit NYC starting in 2011 and noticed that the LGBTQ community wasn't really represented in CrossFit. I actually met Ryan, who put this whole thing together for us at CrossFit NYC. So I noticed there wasn't a lot of LGBTQ representation in CrossFit, pretty much at all back then. So I created a small group called WOD, and we raised money for other organizations. Actually, we would bring in athletes, and we would work out for just a class and pay $20 and donate it to another organization. And then, fast forward, like 9 years later, I started the foundation because I noticed that we weren't really giving back to our community, the CrossFit community, bringing people into the CrossFit community. So we created programs that we have a scholarship program for underserved or at-risk LGBT young adults. We pay for a full year of CrossFit membership for them. They get meals from Kettlebell Kitchen, shoes from Noble, and kind of set them up for success. Because we, as CrossFitters, take for granted the community that we are in. We don't realize the support and the obviously the fitness we get, but the people we meet really change our lives. And I wanted to provide that access to people who may not have that opportunity. Yeah, so that's what we do. Super fun.
Thank you.
Okay, well, the Reveille Project was, we can consider myself the test pig. I served 2 tours in Iraq. Was injured on my first tour and kind of came back and started making a mess of my life. And I knew that I needed to get back to my fitness and nutrition, and I knew one of those aspects was CrossFit. And I got in a CrossFit gym, teamed up with Kevin Ogar, and he and I started coaching me, and we kind of just wanted to do that for other veterans. So that kind of created the program, and we looked at all the different facets that we needed to kind of hopefully get a guy or gal that's coming out of the military and give them a place of community, give them purpose and those type of things, and that's really how the Relay Project got created. So.
Yeah, so back in 2013, my wife, Becky Konzelman, was a games athlete, and she was on the stadium floor in Carson, California, and she had a super strong faith herself and had been living that out, and it was such a passion and awesome experience for her. As she looked around, she just wondered whether people were experiencing the same thing, and so she wanted to create a platform through fitness that would allow people to also experience faith and to really build true strength that lasts. CrossFit is great for building community through shared suffering and physical strength, but she wanted to make sure that people had the opportunity to experience that spiritual strength. And so that was the genesis of it. It started with the athlete New Testament, where guys like Rich Froning and Chris Spieler and Dan Bailey had an opportunity to share their faith and a little bit of story about who they were as Christians and what that looked like for them. And so from that, it built to chapters as well. And then we also run camps that provide people a weekend training intensive for the opportunity to learn snaps from a guy like Spencer Arnold, who is American Open champion, Guido Trinidad, who founded Wadapalooza, and some really great coaches.
So the next question I want to ask is, for you guys personally, and maybe let's hear from some folks who haven't spoken, or two or three of you again, what is something that you feel like in your own life has been changed since being involved with this organization?
Man, I can start right there, for sure. My whole life has kind of been turned upside down by the organization I'm now with the Phoenix. I started an affiliate in 2009 with my mom, and we're both in long-term recovery from substance use disorder, and we loved what we do, and we tied our recovery into everything that we did with the affiliate, and it was amazing. But we still found ourselves that we were kind of left wanting at the end of the day, and about 3 years ago, I ran into some guys from the Phoenix, and they said, you should really come check this thing out. I think it's right up your alley. And right from that moment, as soon as I walked into the first Phoenix class, I was hooked. From that, I started volunteering. And then about 1.5 years ago, I actually was able to work a deal with the Phoenix where they purchased my CrossFit affiliate, and now I work for the Phoenix full-time. My whole gym is a kind of a pilot program for the Phoenix, so all of our memberships go directly toward the Phoenix from our affiliate in Colorado Springs. So it's given me an opportunity to really be of service to the people in my community, which is super important for me in my recovery. And that's one of the biggest things in recovery from substance use disorder is the disconnection from community. And then when you do get sober, how do you give back? And that's a big part of our program, is our workforce development program, where we can come in and we can teach these guys that fall in love with fitness in the community how to be coaches and how to give back. And now a lot of them coach just as much as I do, and I get to show them how to be coaches and coach coaches, and it just keeps going on and on. So it's a pretty amazing experience that I've been given through the Phoenix.
So for me personally, I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2014. It was also the same year that I started working for Steve's Club, and I felt that me beating cancer and staying here, my purpose was to work with these kids and to be a leader for them and to really try to help and grow this organization. And ever since then, I really felt like that this has been my purpose. The first year that I ran, we do a leadership camp every summer for the kids, and the first year that I did it, I had just gotten done treatment, and the kids had asked me to share my story. That was the first time I shared my story when I was at our leadership camp, and that was extremely impactful for me. It really, being that vulnerable in front of the kids, it's allowed me to continue sharing my story, and the kids they were the ones that gave that to me and gave me the strength to do that. And I really feel that working with the kids, as much as people say, we give back to them, I get so much more from working with them than I feel like I could ever give back to them. So I'm incredibly grateful to be here and to be in the position that I am to continue the work that Steve started in 2007.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, so just a couple quick more questions. Probably not quick. I would really love to hear from a couple of you a story of a single person that comes to mind when you think of this is really what I want my organization to be able to do.
So we operate in, I think we're in 42 states now, 9 countries, and we run about 150 OutWOD events every year. And I like personally speak to every single person who runs one and make sure it's like what I envision for OutWOD. But I got an email literally 2 weeks ago. This guy Michael was running an event in middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, and he's a CrossFit coach, and he was so nervous about taking a big stand for the LGBTQ community in his little town in Pennsylvania, and he's like, I'm putting this event on, I want it to be part of our community. And he sent me an email afterwards, and I was like crying. And basically he said that, you know, it gave him the strength to really come out to his peers. He was able to rally a community around the LGBTQ community, and he didn't even think that his community would ever rally around that. And it gave him the strength to kind of be a pillar for the community within his CrossFit community. So we really do it to provide that advocacy and that inclusion for people so that they feel that CrossFit is a community. And the minute you exclude anyone from your community, it's no longer a community, it's now a clique. And that's not what CrossFit's all about. It's about really accepting every single human into the fold, and showing that inclusion is at the heart of community. So Michael's story, like again, I saved it in a folder called Happy, because I always go back to it, to different things, but it's in that folder, and his story is really why we do what we do, so that people can feel that they're supported within CrossFit.
So we have several really eccentric employees in the Springs, which is amazing. And there's one guy, and I know he won't mind that I use his name. His name's Dan, and he first came to us a couple years ago, straight out of the correctional facility. And he is a large human being, covered in tattoos, head to toe, and he is possibly the greatest human being I've ever had the opportunity to be in contact with. But he started with us, and he came in, and he had this harsh mentality, and you know, he dove into the program, and then he kind of drifted away. But when he came back, he was actually looking for a job, and it turns out that what we were able to provide for him at the beginning of his recovery from substance use disorder and getting out of the correctional system was the support he needed to kind of jumpstart his career, and realize that that's the path that he wanted to go on. So it turns out he started working for a treatment facility as a counselor there, coming right out of that, and then he was able to come back, and now he works for us in Phoenix. And to watch a group of men come in from the correction facility to work with Dan, and to see all of the stigma just drop as soon as they walk through the door, and they start going through our team member agreement, and they start lifting weights, and they start to feel a part of. They just start to feel like they're just another person in the room, and they lose their past. They're not defined by it anymore. It's probably one of the most magical things I've ever had the privilege of seeing. And it's pretty special at every Phoenix event, but it's sometimes with Dan, watching him have walked that path. If we can provide that path to community and recovery that Dan walked through, that's the deal. That's what it's about.
So in my mind, Andrea Eger comes to mind, I guess, because going back to my wife one more time, she was able to have a relationship with her, just mentor her and walk her through faith, and kind of bring her past that mentality that competition is all about self-discovery and self-worth, but really taking her past that into what is your purpose. And Faith Rex, just like Will was saying, is about community, building that, providing a platform for people to express themselves and their faith, and being true to that. And so Andrea has gone on to meet her husband through Faith Rex, and really have a ministry there in New York City, where she lives now, of running a chapter and serving that community through their events in faith and fitness, and through the service opportunities as they partner with other nonprofits.
All right, the next two questions are for everyone. The first one is, what is something coming up in the next year or next phase, however you define the next part of your future for your organization, that you're really excited about? Like the most excited about even?
I'm not allowed to talk about it yet.
And don't do like the blogger thing where you're like, something so exciting is coming up and I can't tell you about it yet.
I can't tell you about it. Follow us on Instagram.
Don't say exactly what you just said.
Yeah, no. I can talk a little bit about it. We are developing the WOD Championships, which will be in March next year. It will be based from the Open and our Open leaderboard, that the top athletes will get an invite to a larger event that will go down into the WOD Championship. So that's what I'm really looking forward to really kind of elevate what we're doing on a crazy level. We're also opening a foundation in Canada so that we can service. We do some events already there, but we're trying to do more work in Canada. So we're creating a Canadian foundation so we can continue kind of our world domination of rainbows.
For us, I think expansion out of Colorado. We just signed our first gym up in Montana, in Missoula. We're looking at Texas, California, Washington, several other states. Finally getting that level where we can facilitate expansion. We're also going to be pairing up with some other nonprofits to help even round out the program even better. Faith RX being one of them. It's a big part of my story is my faith. And allowing them to help us out on some of that is going to be a good thing. And then Phoenix, they definitely were in Hoppy's gym, and that is another cool thing is a lot of vets struggle with substance abuse and things like that. So just finding people to partner with that really can take the program to the next level. So.
I'll start off. I'm also really excited. A lot of the nonprofits that are here today, we partner with through the CrossFit Foundation, and a lot of them, like the Phoenix, and it's just a natural partnership because they're wanting to start a youth component to their program. We already work with youth, and actually I'd like to talk with you, Will, about partnering in the future. But for us, we do a leadership camp every summer. It's our biggest program that I always get super excited about. This year for us, it's July 18th to 24th, and we bring a lot of amazing speakers and community members to work with the kids. We fly kids in from all over the country to really go through a pretty intensive development of leadership and teamwork throughout the week for them to then go back into their communities as peer leaders and peer mentors for the other kids in the program. So I always look forward to that week. And then another program that I'm very much looking forward to that hopefully we're going to get some grant funding for is to do a local club summit. So we have 21 programs across the country, but we've been so small to the point where many of our programs, the leaders of the programs have never met each other in person. So just trying to get everybody together, similar to what the CrossFit Foundation does for all of the CrossFit nonprofits, to really share best practices, bring in some amazing speakers about fundraising, working with kids who may have experienced a lot of trauma, and yeah, so that's what I'm excited about.
One of the big things that we're launching this year for the first time is our peer-to-peer initiative. So basically we now have a platform where anybody can run a fundraiser for the Phoenix. So what we're going to be doing in September, which is Recovery Month, is we will be putting out invitations for everybody that has a facility and has somebody that's afflicted with substance use disorder or is themselves or just wants to fundraise for the Phoenix, has the opportunity to run an event at any location they have. We have some, we have a prescribed workout that we have for CrossFit affiliates, but we're highly encouraging other disciplines to get involved. We have a lot of other things that we do through the Phoenix besides CrossFit. CrossFit is one of our main hubs, but we also do climbing, biking, hiking, yoga, you name it, and we don't want to kind of single out, kind of silo the CrossFit community in that sense, towards we can run it through everything. So for us, September is going to be a huge month. We're super excited about giving an opportunity for everybody to get back and take part.
So Faith RX is combining their new website and a new app that's going to make it a lot more easy for people to find that local event to them and get involved with our Iron Sharpens Iron camps. We have our first one coming up in Cardiff, UK. This year, we've never been overseas before. It's our 16th camp. And then we have an awesome Impact Leadership Conference for all of our chapter leaders coming up in November.
Awesome. All right, guys. So tell everyone where they can find you and the best way to get involved.
Quickly.
Quickly.
Okay.
Sorry.
www.iamout.org. We'll show you everything. Outwad on Instagram, OUTWOD. And just email us because I say yes to everything. So if you want to do it, let's do it.
We're on therevelryproject.org. We're also live out mostly on Facebook and Instagram at the Revelry Project. I just want to say a quick thing, and that I just love getting all this together. The CrossFit community is so diverse, and I'm just super grateful for RJ, Ryan, and Don putting this all together. I think Denver really needs some more of this where we can all get together and throw down together and hang out and have a good time. So super grateful for those guys too, putting all this together.
So we are stevesclub.org. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Steve's Club. And then if you're interested in starting a chapter, we have a pretty easy way to get involved if you're interested in working with kids in your community. It's very flexible. You can work with the youth in your community that you feel need the most help or you would have the most impact working with. And yeah, it's basically like starting your own nonprofit. So there's the flexibility to work with the kids in the community that you'd like to work with and also go out into the community. It doesn't have to be directly at a CrossFit affiliate. So yeah, thank you.
Really simple, the phoenix.org. At that hub, you can do absolutely everything. You can donate, initiate, contact us. We'll respond to everything there. And you can find all of our hashtags and all of our social media through that hub as well. And we also offer the same program through Phoenix Rising, which you can do at the phoenix.org.
So we're on all your favorite social media channels and on Google, FaithRxD.
Thank you guys so much for your time and for speaking to us about your awesome organizations. And yeah, we really appreciate everything you do.